Today I'm interviewing one of our featured composers, Matthew Evan Taylor, about his upcoming piece that we premiered back in February of 2019 at our second Co-College residency concert. Now we are getting ready to perform it on August 11th at 7 p.m. at Co-College in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and will be featured on our second album. And by the way, our title will be released to the public very soon. So Matthew, it's awesome to have you. And,
Hey,
and by the
Matt.
way, he is actually vice president of our board now. So
Yeah, I have the power, is
he
my
has the
favorite
power,
cartoon used
power,
to.
power of Grayskull, so they say.
That's right. That's right.
So
Yeah.
I guess first up, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and a brief background?
Yeah. So I have a pretty windy road in music. I started playing saxophone when I was 9, and was really mostly inspired by jazz musicians, Ornette Coleman, Charles Mingus, Cannonball Adderley. And then in college, I started diving deeper into the classical rep. All the saxophonists out there, played the Glazunov concerto and stuff like that.
Oh,
But then also learned more about Arnold Schoenberg and Stravinsky. And then after that classical education, I toured as a rock musician, and uh, then decided to chase the money and go into classical composition. Um, and It's actually been the best decision I've made. These days, I kind of hesitate to say that I'm a classical composer, but because it's the music that I've been creating is kind of so much more than that, and it's an amalgam of all these influences I've had in my life, and just kind of put together, uh, looked over, chewed over, and then put out into the world as this stuff that's uniquely me. So yeah, so and these days I get the pleasure of working with like Durward and um, uh, like the Vermont Symphony Orchestra and different schools around the country and stuff like that. So
wow,
yeah.
that's awesome. All right, and let's just dive right into the piece that you wrote for us back in 2019. What was your inspiration for writing Joyful Noise?
Let's see. So that was 2019. I think I had so I was there are a couple of strains going on there. So I had just recently moved to Vermont, where I teach at Middlebury College, and had a promotion of sorts from visiting professor to tenure track. So that was like a moment of optimism for me, and everything. Uh, had recently met my partner, now wife. Um, but also, I had noticed that a lot of my music up to that point was kind of being negatively colored by how I felt about the political situation and stuff like that in the country at the time. Um, and so I just was like, you know what? Kind of both as a as an acknowledgement of the good that's happening in my life at the time, and also as an act of defiance. I kind of wanted to make something just truly joyful.
Yeah.
and and at the time, you had asked if there could be like some jazz elements, and like honestly, before that, I had kind of stayed away from incorporating any jazz into my music if I could help it. But this time I was like, no, this is part of who I am, and I want to embrace this and um, in, infuse this piece with the things that are kind of important to me
Yeah.
in jazz, which is the fluidity of it, and the rhythm, but also the nuance of the rhythm, that like in the drum set uh, drum set part and stuff, where it's there's so many different ways to be driving with the drum set, so many different ways to swing, and like to kind of get to play around with those, and then also to work with Megan Ihnen. Uh, it's it's that was something that I had been wanting to do for a while already. She and I had talked, and then to have this project come up as like our kind of introduction to each other
Yeah.
Was a great opportunity.
Yeah. I remember you kind of opened my eyes to it's like, well, why not bring somebody else in? And so and I thought that would be a really cool element. So, and it's kind of become a thing for us, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. Um, so, and then I guess up next, so how did you come up with the text for the piece?
Oh, that's most of my texts I write,
Okay.
and it's a lot of that defiance and genuine joy were kind of captured in the text, and it it was meant to. I was trying to figure out, well, not trying to figure out. I just there was this sentiment I wanted to put over, and as someone that grew up in the black church, that's such a kind of um, such a rallying cry.
Mm.
Oftentimes, is to make a joyful noise. I guess from Psalms, I think,
Yeah, yeah.
or from Isaiah. I always forget which source, but so like that, having that in there, it's also kind of a nod to my grandmother. Like a lot of things have these little kisses to my grandmother who passed away in 2017.
Oh, wow.
So that was all kind of percolating in the text.
Okay. Wow. That's cool. I didn't know that little part of it. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say it almost sounds like a Frank Zappa title too.
Yeah.
A little bit, you know.
Yeah. I never listened much to his music, but yeah, like a lot, there, there's some other stuff I've said or written in the past that like definitely resonates with Zappa heads out there. Yeah, it's just how I think, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. um, then we've kind of went over this next question,
Mhm.
and then, well, I guess up next is can you tell the viewers about any future projects or current projects? I know some of the current projects I see on social media, but can you tell us about that, and then maybe some
Oh man,
that's coming up?
yeah, yeah. So uh, I've been really fortunate um, that despite the upheaval of the last year, people have still been really interested in still continuing to do live music and to include me in it. So I've got several projects that I can't talk about quite yet, but the ongoing project I have right now is the my series called Postcards to the Met, which is a collaboration with Metropolis Ensemble, Rajas Ensemble, led by Rajna Swaminathan, commissioned by the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And that series, for anybody that's interested, you can view it on the Met Museum's IGTV on Instagram monthly. So the next one, well, I don't know when this is aired, but Postcard 6 is coming up at the end of July, and then Postcard 7, or sorry, Postcard 5 coming up at the end of July, Postcard 6 at the end of August, and so on. Um, I also have um, my massive project that I just completed, called the Unheard Mixtapes,
Yeah, yeah.
which I recorded during the pandemic. It's 5 EPs. Although I think of it all as a cohesive whole, but you can own it in in little sections of 5 sections. They're available on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get music.
Okay.
Not in CD form yet. That'll be maybe next year. But yeah, so the unheard mixtapes, and then also in support of racial justice initiatives, I released another album called "Say Their Names," which is available on Bandcamp. And all money I raise from that goes to organizations like Black Lives Matter and the Equal Justice, uh,
Okay.
and have been able to raise over $2,000 off of the sales of that.
Oh man,
So yeah,
that's
so
great.
it's yeah, um, it's been a good creative time, and I've been really fortunate in that way.
Yeah. Well, congratulations with everything.
Thank
My
you.
dog says congrats too. She likes to chime in on all
Yeah.
the meetings or interviews or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, that's fine. She just remembering when I was over there in Iowa watching Ozark with you guys.
Yeah, that's right. she's got she's got a lot to say about it too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I guess so. Lastly, since you have worked with us, can you tell us a little bit about what it's like working with the Durward Ensemble?
Yeah, man, I had a great time. You know, the when you're going through like conservatory and stuff and you're learning about like the ensembles that you work with, there's such a focus on kind of working with groups in like Chicago, LA, or or New York or something like that, right? But Durward is indicative of what my experience has been. Is that some of the best ensembles are in the states, in the quote unquote flyover states. Like working with you guys was a really a treat. Just really top notch musicianship and um, an enthusiasm that you kind of don't find in some of the other ensembles in those other cities, because sometimes there's a like hipness that they think they have that ends up ruining the music. So no, but like really like working with you guys, just seeing the sensitivity with which you were working with my music, and um, the great questions about my notation or whatever, and then also just since you already had like a familiarity with Megan, who since she used to live in Iowa, like having that kind of it almost felt like family, like from the top. So yeah, it's just really great, um, great experience.
Awesome. Well, Matthew, thank you for being here today. And this is
Hmm.
concluding our third Durward Composer Chats. If you'd like to know more information about Matthew Evan Taylor or Durward, please visit our websites and they will be featured on this post or on the video up and down. I'm not sure where they're going to be yet. Or if you'd like to contribute to our organization, you can do that through our website, durwardmusic.com, or sponsor Durward Ensemble. You can email me, our group Gmail, durwardensemble@gmail.com.